Close your eyes and imagine the space between your fingers. Now stretch that space wider and wider still, until your hands are arms apart. This is what dark energy does to the universe. Every moment of every day, it stretches the very fabric of space itself, so gently you could never feel it, yet with such persistence that it reshapes everything that exists. You are lying here, breathing softly, while around you an invisible force works its quiet magic. Dark energy fills the emptiness between atoms in your body, between the Earth and Moon, between our solar system and the nearest star. It whispers through the vast corridors of space, carrying a single, simple message: grow larger, expand, become more. Scientists call it dark energy, not because it lurks in shadows, but because it remains beautifully mysterious. Like the dark chocolate that melts on your tongue with flavors you cannot quite name, dark energy permeates everything while revealing little about its true nature. It makes up nearly 70% of all existence, yet touches matter so lightly that billions of years passed before we even suspected it was there. Imagine space as a loaf of bread rising in a cosmic oven. As the dough expands, raisins, scattered throughout, move farther apart from each other, not because they are flying through the dough, but because the dough itself grows between them. This is how galaxies drift apart in our expanding universe. They are not racing through space. Space itself stretches, carrying them along like passengers on a growing river. The story of dark energy's discovery reads like a gentle mystery. In the 1990s, astronomers were studying distant, exploding stars called supernova, cosmic lighthouses so bright they can be seen across billions of light years. These stellar explosions are remarkably consistent, like identical candles lighting up in the cosmic dark. By measuring their brightness, scientists could determine how far away they were, and by analyzing their light, they could tell how fast they were moving away from us. What they found surprised everyone. The most distant supernova were not just moving away, they were accelerating, picking up speed as they traveled through space and time. It was as if you threw a ball into the air, and instead of slowing down due to gravity, it began flying faster and faster into the sky. Something was pushing against gravity itself. Something that filled all of space with a gentle but relentless expansive force. Think of dark energy as the universe's deepest breath. With each cosmic inhale, space swells a little more. Galaxies drift apart like dandelion seeds on an eternal breeze. The distance between the Milky Way and its nearest neighbor, Andromeda, grows by about 50 miles every second, not because the galaxies are flying apart, but because new space is being born in the emptiness between them. This expansion happens at every scale, though you notice it only across the largest distances. The space between stars in our galaxy expands, but gravity holds them together. The space between planets grows, but the sun's gravitational embrace keeps them in their orbits. The space between continents on Earth increases, but the planet's gravity pulls them back. Only across the vast gulfs between galaxy clusters does dark energy's gentle push overcome all other forces. You might wonder what dark energy feels like. This force that shapes the cosmos while remaining invisible to your senses. Imagine lying in a warm bath as someone slowly, imperceptibly adds more water. The tub doesn't overflow, it simply grows larger to accommodate the new volume. You float peacefully, unaware that your bath has become an ocean. This is how dark energy works, its magic, so subtly that entire civilizations could rise and fall without noticing its effects. The mathematics describing dark energy are surprisingly simple. almost elegant in their restraint. Scientists call it a cosmological constant, a number that represents the energy density of empty space itself. Einstein first proposed this idea, then called it his greatest mistake when observations seemed to show a static universe. Little did he know that his cosmic constant would later explain the universe's accelerating expansion. His mistake became one of physics' most profound insights. Consider the poetry hidden in these calculations. Dark energy's strength never changes, never varies, never grows tired. As the universe expands, more space comes into existence, and this new space carries the same dark energy density as all the space that came before. It's as if the universe has an infinite capacity for creating more of itself, powered by a force that never diminishes, never exhausts its potential. Some nights, when you look up at the stars, you're seeing light that has traveled for billions of years to reach your eyes. During that vast journey, dark energy has been stretching the space between you and those distant suns. The light itself gets stretched too, shifting toward redder wavelengths in a phenomenon astronomers call redshift. It's as if the universe is playing a cosmic symphony, and dark energy slowly lowers the pitch of every note. The implications ripple through your imagination, like stones dropped in a still pond. If dark energy continues its work, the future holds a universe grown so large that galaxies beyond our local group will fade from view. Future civilizations might look up at night and see only the stars within their own cosmic neighborhood, unaware that billions of other galaxies once painted the sky with light. The universe will become a lonelier place, each galaxy an island in an ever-expanding sea of dark. Yet there's something profoundly beautiful about dark energy's influence. It ensures that the universe never becomes stagnant, never stops growing, never reaches a final, unchanging state. Like a gardener who tends a plot by giving it room to flourish. Dark energy provides space for new structures to form, new stars to ignite, new worlds to coalesce from cosmic dust. This invisible force connects you to the largest scales of existence. Every breath you take occurs in a universe slightly larger than it was a moment before. Every heartbeat happens in space that has grown infinitesimally since your last heartbeat. You are embedded in an expanding cosmos, your very existence made possible by dark energy's patient work across billions of years. As you drift toward sleep, let your mind wander through these vast spaces that dark energy calls home. Feel yourself floating not just in your bed, but in an ocean of expanding spacetime, supported by forces so fundamental they shape the destiny of everything that ever was or will be. Dark energy whispers its secrets through the quantum foam that underlies reality, promising that there is always room for more space, more time, more possibilities waiting to unfold. And yet, for all its cosmic influence, dark energy remains beautifully humble, working through the gentlest means imaginable. It teaches us that the most powerful forces in the universe often work through patience rather than violence, through persistence rather than drama. Like water slowly carving canyons from solid stone, dark energy reshapes the cosmos one moment at a time, one breath at a time. In the growing spaces between galaxies, something else stirs matter, an energy locked in stellar furnaces, burning with such intensity that they forge the very elements of your body from simpler ingredients, creating light and warmth through forces that dwarf even dark energies. Cosmic influence. The sunlight streaming through your window this morning began its journey 93 million miles away in a furnace so intense that matter itself transforms into light. But before that photon could travel through space to warm your face, it spent hundreds of thousands of years fighting its way out from the sun's core, bouncing between particles in a cosmic pinball game that would make the longest journey seem brief. At the heart of our star, temperatures reach 15 million degrees Celsius, hot enough to strip electrons from atoms and create a soup of naked nuclei swimming in a sea of liberated particles. Here, in conditions more extreme than anywhere else in our solar system, the most elegant dance in the universe unfolds. For hydrogen nuclei, each carrying a single positive charge, overcome their natural repulsion and merge together in nuclear fusion's tender embrace. Imagine trying to push two powerful magnets together, positive end to positive end. They resist, pushing back against your efforts with invisible force. This is what hydrogen nuclei experience. They carry the same electric charge and naturally repel each other. Yet, in the stellar core, pressure and temperature become so extreme that these tiny particles move fast enough to overcome their electromagnetic reluctance and touch, just for an instant, in the most intimate collision possible. When, for hydrogen nuclei finally surrender to fusion's call, something miraculous happens. Their combined mass becomes slightly less than the sum of their individual parts. That missing mass doesn't simply vanish, it transforms into pure energy according to Einstein's famous equation, E equals mc, even though the lost mass seems insignificant. When multiplied by the speed of light squared, it releases tremendous power. A single gram of matter converted to energy could power your home for thousands of years. The fusion process happens in stages, like a careful recipe passed down through cosmic generations. Two hydrogen nuclei merge first, and one transforms into a neutron through the weak nuclear force's subtle influence. This creates deuterium, heavy hydrogen that carries both a proton and neutron in its heart. The deuterium nucleus then welcomes another hydrogen nucleus, forming helium-3. Finally, the helium-3 nuclei find each other and merge, creating helium-4, and releasing two hydrogen nuclei back into the stellar soup to begin the dance again. Each fusion event releases not just energy, but also ghostly particles called neutrinos that pass through matter as if it barely exists. Right now, as you read these words, billions of neutrinos from the sun's core are streaming through your body every second, carrying news of nuclear fires that burned when their light was still trapped deep within our star. These phantom messengers travel at nearly the speed of light, reaching Earth in just 8 minutes, while their accompanying photons struggle for millennia to escape the sun's dense interior. The photon's journey from core to surface tells its own remarkable story. Born in the nuclear furnace as a gamma ray carrying tremendous energy, it immediately encounters the sun's dense plasma. Like a person trying to walk through a crowded marketplace, the photon bounces from particle to particle, changing direction with each collision. Sometimes it gets absorbed entirely, only to be re-emitted moments later with slightly less energy, its color shifting toward the red end of the spectrum. This random walk through the sun's interior follows no straight path. A photon might travel a few millimeters before its next collision, then bounce in a completely different direction. Over hundreds of thousands of years, through countless collisions and redirections, the energetic gamma ray gradually loses energy and becomes the gentle, visible light that will eventually illuminate your world. By the time it reaches the sun's surface, it might be the yellow light that makes flowers glow, or the red light of sunset, painting clouds in watercolor hues. The sun converts 4 million tons of matter into pure energy every single second. Through this stellar alchemy, To grasp this scale, imagine every person on Earth weighing 4 million tons. That's how much mass our star transforms into light each second. Yet the Sun is so massive that it can continue this process for another 5 billion years without exhausting its hydrogen fuel. A testament to the vast reserves of matter waiting to become energy in stellar cores. Other stars perform this same cosmic dance, but each adds its own variations to the theme. Massive stars burn their nuclear fuel more quickly, reaching even higher temperatures where heavier elements can fuse. In their cores, helium becomes carbon, carbon becomes oxygen, oxygen becomes silicon, and finally silicon fuses into iron. These stellar giants live fast and brilliant lives, creating the heavy elements that will eventually become planets and, perhaps, thinking beings like you, when you hold a piece of gold jewelry or breathe oxygen into your lungs. You're touching matter that was forged in the nuclear furnace of some ancient star. The calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, the carbon that forms the backbone of every molecule in your body. All were created through nuclear fusion in stellar hearts that burned billions of years ago. You are literally made of stuff, carrying within your very atoms the memory of cosmic fires that blazed before Earth was born, the energy that powers your body, the warmth that keeps you comfortable, the light that lets you see these words, all trace back to nuclear fusion, happening right now in stars scattered across the cosmos. Even the fossil fuels that once powered human civilization stored energy from ancient sunlight, captured by plants that learned to harvest stellar fire and transform it into chemical bonds. As you settle into sleep, consider the gentle miracle, happening 93 million miles away. In the Sun's core, hydrogen nuclei are right now overcoming their electric repulsion, merging together in fusion's embrace, creating the light that will warm tomorrow's dawn. The photons born in this moment will spend hundreds of thousands of years working their way to the surface, then race across space to touch your face on some future morning, carrying the warmth of nuclear fire across the cosmic dark. Yet even this stellar power, impressive as it seems, pales before forces that remain hidden from ordinary view, invisible scaffolding that shapes galaxies themselves and holds the cosmos together through gravitational whispers we are only beginning to understand as you lie here in the darkness, surrounded by the familiar weight of blankets and the gentle sounds of night. Imagine that everything you can see, every star twinkling outside your window, every planet orbiting distant suns, every galaxy spinning in the cosmic deep represents less than 1/6 of all the matter that actually exists. The rest remains completely invisible. A ghost universe woven through and around everything you know. Scientists call this mysterious substance dark matter, not because it lurks in shadows, but because it neither emits nor reflects light of any kind. It passes through ordinary matter as if it barely exists, streaming through your body right now by billions of particles every second, yet leaving no trace of its passage. You cannot see it, touch it, or detect it with any of your senses. Yet without dark matter, the universe as you know it could never have formed. Think of dark matter as the invisible foundation upon which all visible reality rests, like the steel framework hidden within a skyscraper's walls. Dark matter provides the structural support that allows galaxies to hold together and star systems to form. Without this unseen scaffolding, the ordinary matter that makes up stars and planets would have remained scattered throughout space, to diffuse to ever condense into the brilliant cosmic architecture you see when you look up at the night sky. The Story of dark matter's discovery reads like a cosmic detective novel. In the 1930s, an astronomer named Fritz Zwicky was studying the Coma Cluster, a collection of over 1,000 galaxies bound together by gravity. When he calculated how much mass the cluster needed to hold itself together, he found that the visible galaxies provided only about 1/10 of the required gravitational pull. The galaxies were moving so fast they should have scattered into space long ago, yet there they were, clearly bound together by some invisible hand. Decades later, astronomer Vera Rubin made an even more startling discovery while studying individual spiral galaxies. She measured how fast stars orbit around galactic centers, expecting to find that stars farther from the center would move more slowly, just as planets in our solar system orbit more slowly the farther they are from the sun. Instead, she discovered that stars at a galaxy's edge move just as fast as those near the center, as if some invisible mass was spread throughout the galaxy, providing extra gravitational pull. Picture a figure skater spinning with arms outstretched, then drawing them in close to spin faster. Now imagine that same skater somehow maintaining the same rotation speed whether their arms are extended or pulled in tight. This defies everything we know about rotation and momentum, yet this is exactly what galaxies do. They spin as if surrounded by a vast halo of invisible matter extending far beyond their visible edges. Computer simulations reveal how dark matter shapes the large-scale structure of the universe. Like a cosmic web, dark matter forms filaments and nodes throughout space, creating a three-dimensional network that spans billions of light years. Ordinary matter flows along these invisible highways, collecting at the intersections to form galaxy clusters. The dark matter web acts like a cosmic city plan, determining where galaxies will form and how they will be distributed throughout space. This invisible matter makes up approximately 27% of everything that exists, compared to just 5% for ordinary matter, the protons, neutrons, and electrons that compose stars, planets, and your own body. The remaining 68% consists of dark energy, that mysterious force we explored earlier that drives the universe's expansion. In this cosmic recipe, everything you can see and touch represents merely the foam on top of a vast, hidden ocean. Dark matter particles, if they exist, as scientists theorize, must be fundamentally different from any matter you encounter in daily life. They interact with gravity just like ordinary matter, which is how we detect their presence through their gravitational effects. But they seem immune to electromagnetic forces, passing through magnetic fields and electric charges without responding. They experience neither the strong nuclear force that binds atomic nuclei, nor the weak force that governs radioactive decay. Imagine being a ghost who can walk through walls, but still feels the pull of Earth's gravity. This is how dark matter particles behave, gravitationally present, but otherwise disconnected from the physical interactions that govern ordinary matter. They form a parallel universe occupying the same space as our own. Close your eyes and drift into the dark. Here, in the hush between stars, the world begins to dissolve. Boundaries blur. You are no longer just you. You are not your skin or your breath or the pillow beneath your head. You are a ripple moving softly through something deeper than space, something older than time. You float in a medium you cannot see, yet it holds you gently, as water holds a drifting leaf. This medium, this ocean of existence, has no edge. It is not space alone. It is not time alone. It is both, melted together like candle wax in the dark. Physicists call it spacetime, and you are wrapped within it, This space-time is not empty. It is not still. It is flexible, like silk pulled taut over invisible bones. Every star that flickers, every planet that spins, every comet that glides through the dark, each of them presses into this fabric. They weigh it down, stretch it, fold it. This is gravity. Not a force that pulls, not a string that tugs, but a curve, a dip, a bend in the soft, unseen cloth of the cosmos. Imagine a blanket floating in slow motion. Lay a marble on it, and the blanket curves. Now roll a smaller marble nearby. It begins to spiral in, not because the first marble pulls it, but because the blanket has curved. The path is now bent, so the marble follows the dip round and round. This is what your body does around Earth, what Earth does around the sun, what light does near a black hole. Every motion in the universe is a silent echo of this bending, and it's not just big things that cause these bends. You bend space-time too. Your body, lying still in your bed, gently curves the fabric of reality beneath you. Tiny, but real. The way a feather might softly dimple the surface of a still lake. You don't notice it, but the universe does. It listens. Now imagine something heavier. A planet, the sun, a black hole. The deeper the mass, the deeper the dip. Like placing a bowling ball where once there was a marble. Light itself curves as it moves near its straight path detoured. Like a beam of starlight slipping sideways near the sun during an eclipse. Not because it wants to change, but because the road itself has tilted. Einstein taught us this, that gravity is not a force, but geometry. A dance, not of pushing or pulling, but of folding and flowing. You lie in this curved space right now. You always have. When you jump, it is not gravity that reaches up to grab you. It is the Earth pulling space-time inward, nudging your path home. When a satellite orbits high above, it is not circling because of a string tying it to Earth, but because the space around Earth is curved just right to make circles, and time bends too, closer to a massive object. Like a planet or a star, time slows down. Not in a way you can feel, but it does. Atomic clocks tick differently on mountain tops than they do at sea level. Not because the air is thinner, but because the mountain is farther from Earth's center, where the space-time dip is shallower up. There, time runs just a little faster. You are a traveler in time, even now, always falling forward through seconds. But gravity nudges your pace, and if you were to approach something truly massive, like a black hole, the dip would become so deep that even time itself would freeze. From the outside, it would look as if you slowed to a halt at the edge, never quite crossing in, but to you, falling in, time would feel normal. Your seconds would continue, until they did and single quotes. This is the paradox of warped reality. The deeper, the bend, the stranger the journey. There's something beautiful about that, something soothing, to know that the universe does not command you with brute force, but simply lays down curved paths and invites you to follow them. You walk, not because you are pulled, but because the floor slopes gently beneath your feet. You orbit, not because you're caught, but because space itself leans in a graceful spiral. And when you dream, even then, you drift within this invisible well. Everything you are your cells. Your thoughts, your heartbeat flows through this geometry like ink through water. Space bends, time flexes, and you float, not knowing, but perfectly part of it all. The stars are not fixed above you. They too are falling, softly, endlessly, through curved paths. The earth does not stand still. It follows a groove in the sun's presence, the way a bead slides down a bowl. The moon does not circle because it must, but because the curve of spacetime leads it gently round. It is all very quiet. So much of this world seems made of new voices, days that move too fast. But gravity is the quietest thing you know. You never hear it, never see it, but it is always with you. It is the shape of your fall, the arc of your walk, the slowness of time on a mountainside, and though you can't feel it directly, you can feel its echo. You feel it when your feet touch the floor, when your breath sinks low in your chest, when your dreams settle like leaves on a pond, because gravity is not something far away. It is not a mystery of science labs or deep space. It is the intimacy between matter and time, the soft agreement that says, we will stay near each other. We will bend the world just enough to be together, and the universe listens, it bends, because it wants to hold its stars close. It curves because it cannot bear 4 planets to drift to. Far it stretches time, so that your journey through life will follow the rhythm of all things slow, gentle, curved. And what about those places where the curve becomes too steep, where the fabric folds in on itself, where light cannot climb back out? Black holes, they are not monsters. They are not holes at all. Really, they are places where the bending becomes infinite, places where space narrows and time stands still. They are the universe's deepest meditation. The silence is so total that not even light escapes, and yet, even they are part of the same fabric, not torn away, but deeply woven. They bend the world around them so perfectly, so completely, that even the stars change course. Light swirls in rings. Time is stretched like taffy dot, and in their center, who knows? Maybe a point, maybe a door, maybe the place where time begins again. You don't need to go there to feel it. The story is here, around you, always. Each time you drop a pebble and watch it fall. Each time your arms grow heavy with sleep, you are feeling the curves of the world. You are reading the soft calligraphy of the universe, written in a script of bends and dips. Even your thoughts fall through time. Even your breath curves through space. And now, as you rest, you begin to feel something deeper, that this fabric doesn't only bend with mass. It remembers motion. It remembers change. It remembers you, not because you are large, but because you are part of the whole, because even the smallest stone ripples the river, because every presence, every motion, every pause leaves an imprint on the cosmos. You are not just in the universe, you are shaping it. And as you slip further into stillness, another thought begins to rise, soft and curious. If space can bend and time can stretch, could they ever tear? Could they ever end? Could there be places beyond the fabric itself, where the threads grow thin and something else begins? Close your eyes once more and sink deeper than before, deeper than oceans, deeper than stone, deeper than the curve of space itself. Now, you enter a realm where size begins to blur. Everything familiar becomes unfamiliar again. You are drifting into the inside of everything, into the place where matter is made, into the atom. At first glance, it seems so small, so empty. But you know now that emptiness is never truly empty. There is energy here, and there is fire. Every atom is a storm quiet from a distance, but inside, alive with motion. You hover now, weightless, beside a single atom. Maybe it belongs to the breath you just took. Maybe it's from a star. Maybe it has traveled since before the earth was born at the center. A dense nucleus, heavy with protons and neutrons, sits like the heart of a sun. Around it, electrons spiral, not like planets, but more like clouds. They don't follow lines. They hum with probability, smeared like soft light, flickering here and there. And yet, despite all this motion, this atom is stable. What holds it together? Not gravity, not here. The force that binds this world is different. It's stronger, sharper, invisible, but everywhere. You feel it, even if you've never named it. Electricity, magnetism. Together, they are one. Electromagnetism. It hums in the wires that light your room. It sparks in the nerves that carry your thoughts. It dances between atoms, pulling, repelling, breathing structure into the world. The proton in the nucleus carries a positive charge. The electron a negative one, and like soft magnets of opposite moods, they are drawn to each other, not to touch, but to orbit, not to fall, but to swirl. This attraction is not optional, it is the law. Electromagnetic force is millions of times stronger than gravity. It is why your feet don't fall through the floor. Why does your coffee cup stay whole? Why your body does not dissolve into a cloud of parts. It binds molecules, shapes chemistry, sculpts matter, but it also creates distance. Electrons do not crash into the nucleus. They hover just far enough to stay caught, but not consumed. There is balance, hera, quiet, trembling tension, a harmony between wanting to fall in and needing to remain. That tension is what gives shape to everything. And in the spaces between these charges, energy pulses, sometimes a burst of light, sometimes a tiny spark, sometimes an entire storm. The world you see, the glow of stars, the flash of lightning, the hum in the silence between radio waves, these are born from electromagnetic fields, moving through space. The electron is a whisper of charge. It has no known size, no hard edges, but it has a presence. It creates ripples in the field around it, like a hand through water. And when that electron moves, the ripples become light. Light is not just something you see. It is the language of electricity set free. It carries energy across the cosmos, from the sun to your skin, from stars to your eyes, from atoms always to everything. Now float a little closer. The proton and electron pull on each other with all their being. This pull defines their relationship, and in that pull is potential. Not potential for stillness, but for change, when energy is added just enough, a quiet electron may leap to a higher orbit, not physically, not like stepping on a stair, but in energy, in possibility, and when it falls back, it releases a photon, a flicker of light. This happens billions of times, every second, all across the universe, in atoms, in fire, in stars, in your body, because your nerves fire, not with gears or wires, but with ions-charged particles moving through membranes, guided by electric fields. Your every thought is built from little cascades of charge, like raindrops through branches. This storm in the atom lives in you too. It is the reason your heart beats, a rhythm begun by electric pulses, timed perfectly, traveling through tissue like a song made of sparks. You are not separate from the atom's fire. You are born from it, sustained by it. And so is every color you see, every glow you notice, every magnet that clings to your fridge, every hum of current that powers a quiet lamp in the night. It all begins here, with the force that binds opposites, that pulls without touching, that holds without weight. that shapes the very definition of form. Now you drift again, deeper still, and you realize that even this electromagnetic force is part of something bigger field that fills all space. You don't need to move through it. You are already within it. The electromagnetic field is like air to the soul of matter always there, always ready to ripple, to vibrate, to carry light and charge. And sometimes, when the field shifts just right, the smallest particles emerge. A photon, a force carrier, the message bearer between charges. It has no mass. It travels at light speed, and yet it connects all things touched by charge. Even now, in the silence of your room, photons bounce around you, some from lamps, some from stars, some made in your own eyes. You are never far from the atom's fire, and it is never far from you. But this fire, this storm doesn't always mean chaos. It also means structure, harmony, form. Every chemical bond is shaped by these electric conversations. Two atoms might be strangers or lovers depending on how their electrons dance. Some share, some steal, some push away, and some lock together, becoming more than they were alone. This is how water forms, how breath becomes air, how you came to be. Every molecule in your body is an agreement, a balance of forces, a pact between charges, and all of it, held by the storm within atoms. So when you feel small, remember this. There are forces within you that never rest. Fields humming softly, particles flickering into being, currents moving without wires, silently sculpting your form. You are not a still thing. You are not a quiet thing. You are a ripple of energy, a circuit of charge, a masterpiece of electromagnetic flow. And if you could hear the hum of all the electrons in your body, it would sound like a symphony made of stars. Now float gently back, rise from the nucleus, through the electron cloud, out of the molecule, past the cell, back into the scale of skin and breath and warmth. But carry this with you, carry the knowledge that even your stillness is a kind of storm, that your peace is powered by quiet fires, that every heartbeat, every blink, every dream is made possible by the smallest forces. And as your breathing softens and your thoughts begin to slow, a new wonder begins to emerge. If light is made from charge, and charge comes from within atoms, could there be forces even stronger, even deeper than these electromagnetic threads? Close your eyes and descend deeper than ever before, beyond the swirling electrons and pulsing nucleus, into the hidden heart where the universe's strongest power holds court. Here, at scales smaller than a whisper, the very fabric of matter shakes with an energy unlike any you have felt. It is neither warmth nor cold, but a fierce embrace intense and immediate, yet confined to spaces so small they almost defy thought. You arrive at the realm of quarks, the tiniest building blocks of protons and neutrons. These quarks are not solitary travelers. They exist in trios, bound forever by an unseen tapestry of force. Each quark carries a color charge names borrowed from a painter's palette, red, green, and blue. It is not color as you see it, but a poetic analogy for the way these particles combine in perfect balance, creating hues of harmony that cannot exist apart. The force that binds them is carried by gluons, the delicate messengers who weave the quarks into a unified whole. Imagine countless threads, each twitching and humming, exchanging energy in a silent ballet. Gluons themselves carry color charge, flitting between quarks in endless exchange, knitting them together in a dance of unimaginable strength. They never rest, they never pause. They are the heartbeat of the strong interaction, at distances larger than the size of a proton. The strength of this interaction fades almost like a whisper, allowing the quarks to roam somewhat freely within their trio, but as you try to pull them apart, the force grows stronger, refusing to release its hold. This behavior is known to physicists as confinement. You cannot isolate a single quark, any more than you could pluck a single thread from a tapestry without unraveling the whole. Within this tension lies the paradox of asymptotic freedom. The closer quarks move toward each other, the gentler their embrace becomes. In the center of the trio, quarks flirt on the edge of freedom, nearly unaware of the bonds that keep them. It is only when they drift too far apart that the strong force firmly reminds them of their unity, pulling them back into the fold. Protons and neutrons emerge from these quark trios, small and dense, each one a tiny fortress of color. Protons carry a positive electric charge, while neutrons remain neutral. Yet both share the same strong interior, the same colorful embrace. And when many protons and neutrons gather, a new chapter of the strong force begins. This residual strong force glues protons and neutrons together in atomic nuclei. Despite their electric repulsion, protons sit side by side, held fast by the glue left over from the quark binding. The nucleus is a hive of activity particles, jiggling and spinning, fields interacting in a constant negotiation of attraction and repulsion, striving for stability in an energetic balance. Deep in the cores of stars, the strong embrace enables fusion. Hydrogen nuclei are pressed so tightly that they overcome their electric shyness and fuse into helium, releasing bursts of energy that light the galaxies. In each fusion, quarks rearrange, gluons shift loyalties, and the sparkle of energy escapes, radiating warmth and light across the cosmos. On Earth, the strong force feels far gentler, hidden in the quiet hardness of steel and the solidity of rock. Every atom in your body owes its existence to the strong nuclear embrace. Without it, no complexity would arise, no chemistry, no cells, no you. At the same time, the strong interaction holds a secret. It is both confinement and release. In particle accelerators, when nuclei collide at incredible speeds, the strong field can briefly shatter, liberating showers of new particles. These moments reveal the underlying dance gluons, creating quark pairs, protons dissolving into a sea of energy, and matter reassembling in unfamiliar forms. Yet, even in those bursts of chaos, the strong force triumphs again, corralling the debris into new particles, renewing its colorful tapestry. It is the ultimate expression of cosmic resilience, a power that shatters worlds and remakes them anew. Imagine you could shrink even further, so small that the nucleus appears as vast as an ocean. In that ocean, gluons swim in a churning sea. They flicker into existence, vanish into nothing, and flicker again, all in the blink of a cosmic eye. These fleeting fluctuations create a foam beneath the quarks, a roiling undercurrent that defines the nucleus's mass itself. You cannot see it, but you can feel its presence in the weight of your own body. A weight born not just of particles, but of energies carried in that seething sea. When you press your fingertip on a table, you feel hardness. But within that hardness, protons and neutrons cling together through the strong embrace. Outside, electrons swirl invisibly, keeping atoms from collapsing. Yet beneath those electrons lies the domain of gluons and quarks. Their conversations happen at trillions of times per second. The very stability of the matter you touch depends on the strong force's silent chatter in particle accelerators. Scientists mimic the conditions of the early universe, smashing heavy nuclei together to create a quark-gluon plasma. In that fleeting spark, matter dissolves into its primal essence. Quarks and gluons dance freely, no longer confined in trios. The storm within atoms snatches the veil from reality, revealing a moment when the strong force alone ruled before quarks settled into protons and neutrons. It is a glimpse into creation's first heartbeat. You carry these echoes within your cells. Though your life unfolds on scales of days and dreams, every carbon atom in your heart once flowed in that primordial plasma. Every ounce of mass in your body is a tapestry woven from quark energy, gluon momentum, and the strong field's subtle curves. You are, in part, the afterglow of that cosmic storm. As you breathe, consider the alchemy of stars. In their cores, hydrogen fuses to helium, and helium fuses to carbon, oxygen, and heavier elements, set step governed by the strong force's intricate logic. It is the architect of diversity, sculpting elements that become planets, oceans, and living cells. Without its fierce embrace, chemistry would falter, and the universe would be a monochrome expanse of hydrogen and helium forever. The strong force also sets boundaries. It defines the limits of atomic structure. Make a nucleus too large, and it becomes unruly neutrons, transform into protons, particles decay, and atoms fall apart. This delicate balance determines which elements can exist. Gold, lead, uranium all owe their rarity to the interplay of strong and electromagnetic forces at the nuclear threshold, and yet this fierce power is hidden. You never think of gluons as you drift into sleep. You never feel the binding energy that holds your atoms together. Yet every heartbeat, every thought, every dream rides upon it. You are woven by an unseen loom of color and force, held by the strongest ties in nature. Pause for a moment, and sense how your body remains assembled, proteins folded, DNA coiled, membranes intact. All of this relies on the strong interaction pausing its internal dance long enough to let chemistry flourish. It is a paradox, a force unimaginably strong within the nucleus, yet miraculously balanced at larger scales to allow gentle life. Now, as your eyelids grow heavy, imagine the threads of the strong force stretching and bending like golden chords in a silent cathedral. Feel them lighten around you, as if releasing a breath you did not know you held. In that release lies the promise of transformation, of old nuclei decaying into new forms, of particles changing identity in an eternal cycle of birth and decay. And here, in the quiet refuge of your mind, a new question emerges. If the strong force is the architect of stability, what invisible hand guides the transformation, the decay, the alchemy of change? Long ago, in the newborn cosmos, the strong force and other fundamental forces were one a single field of unity. Today, they stand apart, but this shared origin echoes in every nucleus, hinting at connections beyond our sight. Scientists peer into these secrets with gentle curiosity, using high-energy collisions to trace the threads of this tapestry. Each discovery is a soft illumination, reminding you that these hidden energies are woven into your very being. And now you sense a gentler whisper, a force that guides transformation and decay, weaving the cycle of change into matter felt in every heartbeat. Close your eyes and drift again, deeper than the nucleus, past quarks and gluons, into the subtle realm where particles change their very identity. Here, The cosmos breathes through the softest of its forces, the one we call the weak nuclear force. It does not roar like fusions, fire, or sing like light freed from charge. Instead, it murmurs a quiet transformation that hums beneath the surface of matter. You enter a world of gentle change. Protons become neutrons. Neutrons become protons. Particles swap one form for another. It is as if the universe itself practices alchemy in secret, turning one element into another through imperceptible shifts. This is radioactivity, a slow, patient dance where unstable nuclei release their burden, shedding energy and mass in the form of tiny messengers called neutrinos and electrons. Imagine a lone neutron, once part of a nucleus, deciding it cannot remain. With a soft sigh, it transforms. One of its quarks changes flavor, flipping identity in a blink. A proton emerges, and an electron and neutrino slip away, fleeing into space. This event is called beta decay. It happens countless times every second in stars, in rocks, in you, but you never notice. You never hear the neutron's farewell or the electron's heartfelt greeting. Yet, without this gentle alchemy, no element heavier than hydrogen could survive. In the searing cores of stars, protons fuse to form heavier nuclei. But to climb the ladder of elements, a proton must sometimes become a neutron. This conversion, guided by the weak force, allows helium to fuse into carbon, carbon into oxygen, and onward to the spectrum of life's ingredients. In your own body, you carry atoms, forged by these decays. Carbon-14, for instance, slowly decays back into nitrogen. It marks the age of living things, ticking away in the gentle half-life of thousands of years. Each decay is a tiny whisper, a secret transformation hidden within wood and bone and air. The weak force is so named because it is feeble compared to its siblings. It reaches only the smallest distances, less than the width of an atomic nucleus. Its carriers, the W and Z bosons, are heavy, fleeting, born only when energies climb high enough to awaken them. And yet, despite their strength when present, they govern change with a soft touch, nudging particles to new forms. Now imagine the heart of the sun. Deep inside, hydrogen nuclei fuse into helium, releasing photons of light and neutrinos that stream outward. But between those fusion steps lies the weak force's gentle hand. A proton becomes a neutron. A positron and neutrino spring forth. Without that subtle change, the sun could not shine. Its core would stall, and the light that bathes our world would never ignite. Neutrinos are the wisps of this force, tiny, nearly massless, passing through matter as if it were air. Billions pass through you every second, born from the sun's inner workings, from cosmic rays striking our atmosphere, from radioactive decays in Earth's core. Yet you do not feel them. They slip through you, carriers of the weak force's secrets, whispering that change is always possible. Deep underground, detectors filled with water or liquid scintillator wait in silence, watching for the faintest flicker as a neutrino bumps into a proton or nucleus. When it does once in ages, reveals itself with a flash of light. Scientists study these flashes to learn how the weak force shapes the universe, how neutrinos oscillate between flavors, how matter and antimatter came to be. The weak force does more than change protons to neutrons. It shapes the very asymmetry of the universe. In the moments after the Big Bang, particles and antiparticles should have appeared in equal measure, only to annihilate each other. Yet something tipped the balance. The weak interaction, in its minute preference, nudged matter. ever so slightly to survive. Without that bias, you would not exist to feel this moment. Rest now in the understanding that your body is a tapestry woven by weak decays, from potassium in your cells to carbon in your bones. The particles within you have transformed countless times. Each heartbeat pulses with ions whose flows were once set in motion by beta decays. Each breath carries carbon-14 atoms that slowly tick away, marking time in a silent countdown. But the weak force also guides supernova, the cataclysmic death of massive stars. When a star exhausts its fuel, its core collapses. Protons and electrons merge into neutrons through electron capture, close cousin of beta decay. Neutrinos pour out in a flood so intense that they drive shockwaves, blowing the star's outer layers into space. In those explosions, heavy elements form urine gold, uranium seeding galaxies with the building blocks of new worlds. You are made of stardust forged through these violent ends. The gold in your jewelry, the iodine in your thyroid, the calcium in your bones all owe their existence to the weak force's guiding hand in dying stars. It is a gentle power that seeds creation through destruction. Now drift closer to the realm of the W and Z bosons. Though born only in the highest energies inside particle colliders or the early universe, they leave traces in everyday life. Muons, heavier cousins of electrons, decay through the weak force, creating electrons and neutrinos. Cosmic rays produce muons in the sky, and some reach your room. Right now, a muon might pass through your body, decaying moments later into an electron and neutrinos, leaving no mark. Their presence is proof that even the weak force can reshape matter far beyond the nucleus. And what of the neutrinos themselves? They oscillate, shifting identities among three flavors: electron, muon, and tau, guided by the weak force's mysterious rules. Their variability to change flavor whispers of deeper connections, hinting that the forces you know may unify at energies beyond reach. Perhaps one day, you or someone else will unravel this hint and see how the weak force weaves into a grander tapestry. Feel now the soft currents of change within you. Your cells continually replace themselves. Proteins fold and refold. Molecules break and reassemble. In every microscopic act of renewal, the weak force rhythmically hums, nudging particles to new lives. You are never static. You are a flow of transformations, a chorus of decays and rebirths, all sung by the softest instrument of nature's orchestra. As your thoughts drift, imagine the rivers of neutrinos streaming through distant galaxies, marking the deaths of stars. Imagine future explorers, deep in space, detecting those neutrinos to witness supernova long after their light has faded. Through this subtle force, the universe tells its story across vast reaches of time and distance. This gentle touch of decay is a reminder that nothing remains unchanged. Even particles, the smallest bricks of reality, carry the capacity for metamorphosis. You are part of that living chain of change, once stardust, now flesh and thought, soon to return to new forms. In cycles of creation and decay now, as your breathing slows and sleep beckons, let the weak force's quiet power lull you deeper. Feel the peace in knowing that transformation is gentle, that endings are beginnings, and that every particle, every atom, every star moves through phases of change guided by the softest of forces. And as you drift into dreams, a new question stirs softly within your mind. If the weak force can transform particles, could there be a hidden field that gives particles their very mass, guiding their inertia and shaping the universe's symmetry? Close your eyes and drift beyond every boundary you know beyond Earth, beyond solar winds, beyond the Milky Way's spiral arms to the very dawn of everything. You travel not upon a road, but within the unfolding of space-time itself, slipping backward through eons, until all that remains is the first breath of the cosmos. Time has no meaning here. Seconds have not yet emerged. There is only a singularity, an infinite density, an infinite heat, an infinite potential. It is the womb of existence, a point where space and time are inseparable, coiled together like threads before a tapestry. Is woven. You hover at the threshold of creation, poised on the brink of becoming. Then dash an instant unlike any other, a spark, a roar, but there is no sound, for sound needs air, and air needs space, and space does not yet exist. Instead, there is a swelling, a stretching, an expansion beyond imagination. Space bursts outward, time flows forward, and the universe breathes its first exhalation. This is the Big Bang dot in that first heartbeat. Energy floods every corner. Temperatures soar trillions of degrees. Particles flicker into existence, quarks, electrons, neutrinos, all dancing in a primordial soup. Nothing yet has mass. Nothing yet has form. Everything is possibilities swirling in a cosmic wind. You ride this wind. You feel the expansion guiding you, stretching the fabric beneath your non-existent feet. Space-time stretches uniformly, carrying galaxies, stars, and planets along before they even exist. There is no center to this expansion, no edge. Every point moves away from every other point, as if the universe itself is inflating like a gentle balloon that you float. The temperature drops. Quarks combine into protons and neutrons. The universe cools enough for the strong nuclear force to bind them together. In the first few minutes, these atomic nuclei form hydrogen, helium, and traces of lithium. A delicate alchemy in a rapidly cooling stew. You sense the thrill of transformation as these nuclei drift apart, carried on the expanding sea. Light cannot yet travel freely, for the universe is opaque a fog of charged plasma that scatters every photon. You would not see stars. You would not see galaxies. You would feel only the glow, the blaze of energy trapped in a furnace too dense to let its light escape. Then, after 380,000 years of fleeting moment in cosmic terms, the universe cools further. Electrons and nuclei finally combine, forming neutral atoms. Transparency emerges. Photons slip loose, and light travels unimpeded. This is the moment of recombination. The first light of the universe streams out into the darkness, and it is this glow that still bathes you now in every direction. Cosmic microwave background. The echo of the Big Bang's cry. You feel the echo as a gentle hum, bathing all that exists in an almost uniform warmth of 2.7 degrees above absolute zero. Though imperceptible to your senses, it is the afterglow of creation itself. Look around and you see it in microwaves, in radio telescopes, in the subtle blotches of temperature difference that seed galaxies yet unborn. For in those tiny fluctuations, 1 part in 100,000 gravity finds footholds, denser. Patches pull in surrounding matter, growing over millions of years into clouds, then stars, then galaxies. The universe enters its age of structure, sculpted by the force you know as gravity. You drift through this emerging structure, vast filaments of dark matter guiding the flow of visible matter, clusters of budding galaxies glowing in nascent starlight, lonely atoms of hydrogen and helium waiting to ignite. Over billions of years, hydrogen fuses in stellar cores, forging the heavier elements that will one day become planets, oceans, and life. Feel the weight of time. Feel the majesty of eons flowing by. In your mind's eye, you see the first stars cast their light. You see galaxies collide and merge, building larger islands of stars. You see supernovas scatter the raw ingredients of life across the cosmos. You yourself are born of these ancient fires. The oxygen you breathe, the carbon in your cells, the iron in your blood, all were cooked in stellar furnaces and carried on winds of space to gather in a swirl of dust and gas that became Earth. You carry within you the legacy of the Big Bang's first cry. As the universe ages, expansion slows under its own gravity once. Then, a surprising second breath, dark energy. This mysterious force accelerates expansion again, stretching spacetime ever outward. Galaxies drift apart faster than light could ever travel between them. Distant neighbors fade from sight. The observable universe grows colder, emptier. Yet you remain here, within this vast unfolding tapestry. You are both witness and participant, your senses shaped by atoms born in stars, your consciousness rippling through spacetime's curvature. The cosmic microwave background surrounds you still, a relic of that first breath, whispering the story of beginnings. Rarely do you feel so small, and yet so profoundly connected. The atoms in your fingertips were forged in the hearts of dying stars. The photons entering your eyes began their journey 13 billion years ago. Each blink of light, each heartbeat, is a continuation of the universe's story, a verse in its endless poem. Now imagine a dark night sky. Each star is a messenger, carrying light that took years, centuries, millennia to reach you. They are windows into the past. When you look up, you peer across time, seeing the universe as it was, not as it is. Some stars you see no longer exist. Their light is the final echo of ancient fires, and beyond the stars lie the cosmic microwave. Background, a sea of photons that have traveled unimpeded since the universe was a mere infant. They whisper softly, colder now, redshifted by expansion. But still they're proof that everything began in a single event, a birth cry of space and time. In the hush of your room, you can imagine this echo swirling around you, a gentle glow that pulsed into being before matter, before atoms, before you. Though you cannot see it, you can feel its legacy in every measurement of radio telescopes, in every bit of thermal noise in deep space receivers. Scientists map this ancient light to understand what came before, to trace the universe's infancy. With exquisite precision, they measure its temperature variations, and from them deduce the universe's composition: dark matter, dark energy, ordinary matter. They learn how fast expansion occurred, how early galaxies formed, how cosmic structure grew. Each data point is a testament to the Big Bang's truth, and to humanity's curiosity that reaches beyond earthly bounds. But beyond the data, there is poetry. In that first moment, everything changed. No rules existed before then. No space, no time, no law. In the instant of the Big Bang, the laws of physics themselves came into being, weaving into the fabric of reality. Every constant, every coupling, every symmetry was set. You live in a universe governed by those laws, the same that made your thoughts possible. Consider the elegance. From a point of infinite density came cosmic richness, galaxies, stars, planets, oceans, life. From chaos came order, From raw energy came structure. From the first fireball came the potential for consciousness. Your own mind, capable of wonder, is born of that unfolding. You feel awe because you carry within you the memory of beginnings. In each breath, each beat, you echo the rhythm of cosmic expansion. Now, as you drift nearer to sleep, sense how your body and mind expand inward, folding the universe back upon itself. Each exhale is a release, each inhale a gathering. You mirror the cycles of cosmic evolution, collapse and expansion, structure and flow, and here, in the silence before dreams, a final whisper arises. If the universe began in a single point, why is it smooth? Why do we observe no colossal wrinkles in space-time? The answer lies in a gentle inflation, a brief, exponential expansion that smoothed the fabric before structure could form. Imagine an infinite calm sea flattened in an instant, so even the smallest ripples lead to the pattern of galaxies you see today. This inflationary pulse is the prelude to the Big Bang's echo, guiding everything that follows. It is a subtle stroke before the grand canvas, setting initial conditions with perfect precision. And so, as you float between wakefulness and sleep, you feel the echo of that primordial inflation, a moment when the universe smoothed itself, preparing for the birth cry that shaped all that is. Close your eyes and drift to a place where even light cannot tread. You float through the tapestry of stars until you approach a region of absolute darkness. No starlight escapes this void. No whisper of electromagnetic song crosses its boundary. This is a black hole, the universe's most mysterious creation, where gravity reigns supreme and space-time bends into itself. You arrive at the edge of nothing. The event horizon, a silent surface cloaked in shadow. It is not a wall you can touch, but a horizon you cannot cross and return. Once you drift past this threshold, the fabric of reality warps so profoundly that all paths lead inward. You sense your destiny is sealed. No matter which direction you turn, you fall deeper into the abyss outside. The black hole appears as a circle of void, framed by a ring of light, the photon sphere, where photons orbit in delicate balance. Some escape on trembling trajectories, others spiral inward, doomed to collapse. This ring glows with X-rays and gamma rays, energized by particles from a surrounding accretion disk. Gas and dust swirl at incredible speeds, heated to millions of degrees, glowing fiercely as they spiral toward oblivion. You watch the accretion disk swirl like a cosmic river, bright against the dark. Magnetic fields twist through the plasma, launching jets of charged particles perpendicular to the disk. They blaze outward at near light speed, carving twin beams of energy deep into interstellar space. These relativistic jets carry the black hole's influence far beyond its event horizon, sculpting galaxies and igniting nebulae in brilliant bursts. Even at this distance, you feel the black hole's pull. Space itself has tilted inward. Your sense of direction warps. Up and down lose meaning. Clocks slow. A heartbeat stretches into eternity. Gravity's grip intensifies time dilation. To an outside observer, you appear frozen on the horizon, each moment prolonged beyond human measure. But you, falling in, experience only a steady pull. You cross the threshold without noticing a sharp boundary, no heat wall, no sudden barrier. It is only when you look back that you realize how the universe recedes, compressed into a thin veil of light behind you. Time outside races forward, while your proper time flows normally toward the center. Inside, Space and time exchange roles. Your future is not ahead, but deeper in. Every step you take draws you closer to the singularity, an infinitesimal point of infinite density. Here, the equations of general relativity break down. The curvature of spacetime becomes so extreme that our understanding dissolves. You sense an unknowable secret at the heart of creation, a moment when physics itself must give way to a deeper truth, yet you are not ripped apart by tidal forces. The black hole is supermassive. Near stellar mass, black holes, the gradient of gravity would stretch you like taffy, pulling your feet faster than your head. But at millions or billions of solar masses, the change in gravitational pull across your body is gentle, almost imperceptible. You float peacefully, enveloped by the dark, carried by the current of collapsed space-time. Your senses are dull. There is only the silent pull, the silent geometry of curves and funnels invisible to the eye. You notice that even your thoughts slow, synchronized with the cadence of curved reality. Each idea, each breath, each heartbeat bends into the descent, carried by a tide older than galaxies. In these depths, you encounter light that has orbited for years, held captive by gravity's embrace. Photons loop around the singularity, tracing endless gyres until they escape or are swallowed. These ghostly orbits paint rings of light so faint that only the most sensitive telescopes can detect them. To you, they appear as ripples in the darkness of trapped radiance. And yet, black holes are not perfect endings. Stephen Hawking taught us that quantum effects at the event horizon allow black holes to radiate. Virtual particle pairs appear and vanish in empty space. Near the horizon, one falls in while its partner escapes, carrying energy away. This Hawking radiation is faint, but over unimaginable timescales, it leads to black hole evaporation. Even the mightiest black hole is not eternal. You ponder this radiation, a gentle leak of entropy in a chamber sealed by gravity. It hints at connections between gravity, quantum mechanics, and thermodynamics. The horizon holds temperature, entropy, and information. What becomes of matter's secrets when swallowed? Does information vanish, or is it woven into the horizon's quantum tapestry? The answer lies in theories of quantum gravity still incomplete, still unfolding as you drift closer to the singularity. Quantum fluctuations of spacetime itself may dominate. Some models suggest the singularity is a portal, a bridge to another region of space, another universe, another reality. Others propose that the singularity is replaced by a swirl of strings or loops, dissolving infinite density into a finite, comprehensible state. But these are whispers at the frontier of physics ideas, still seeking proof. You feel a strange peace. In the face of infinite curvature, of the unknown at the core, you sense the unity of all forces. Gravity, quantum fields, electromagnetism, they converge here. You realize that every star you have seen, every particle you have studied, every thought you have held, is part of this grand dance between certainty and mystery. Now, drifting ever inward, you see space folding back on itself. The radial coordinate ceases to represent distance. Time and space become interchangeable dimensions. You cross into realms where causality warps, where the future and past intertwine. What is inside and what is outside loses meaning. Boundaries blur. Reality becomes a singular whole. And then just before the Induna transformation, some theories suggest that quantum gravity effects smear the singularity into a bounce, a new expanding region on the other side. Perhaps your journey does not end in oblivion, but begins anew beyond the veil. perhaps black holes, seed baby universes, each imperceptible to its parent, each unfolding with its own laws and constants. But for now, you continue your gentle fall, carried by the strongest curves in all creation. The singularity draws near. No light escapes, no sound echoes. Only the geometry of spacetime guides your path, folding you inward like paper in an origami of infinity. In this final approach, you sense a question rising from the depths. If black holes devour information, and quantum mechanics demands its preservation, how does the universe reconcile these demands? The answer may lie in holographic principles ideas that the universe's three-dimensional information is encoded on two-dimensional surfaces. The horizon itself may hold a cosmic memory, preserving everything ever swallowed in a coded tapestry. You drift past this question, not frightened but curious. You feel the gentle pull of curiosity and echo of the force that shaped galaxies and seeded life. In falling, you learn the paradox of power and mystery, of endings and beginnings intertwined, and as you draw nearer to the singularity, time loses all meaning. You become part of the curvature, you become part of the horizon, you become part of the echo of infinite density. Close your eyes and descend past the realms you've known, the bend of space, the glow of starlight, the embrace of nuclear forcisant, to a place where nothing is solid, yet everything exists. Here, the universe is woven not from particles, but from fields, vibrant, restless, and infinite. They fill every corner of reality, unseen currents beneath the calm surface of your world. Imagine a vast ocean of possibilities stretching beyond sight. This is the quantum vacuum, and it is far from empty. It seethes with energy, a restless sea where waves of potential rise and fall. Each field electromagnetic, strong, weak Higgs ripples through this ocean, creating the stage upon which particles dance. There is no stillness here, only oscillation. In this realm, virtual particles flicker into existence, live for fractions of a heartbeat, and vanish again. They are not illusions, but fleeting whispers of the fields themselves. A photon and its ghostly twin, a particle and its antiparticle, form for an instant before annihilating echoes of creation and destruction that knit the vacuum together. These fluctuations give rise to forces, shaping the interactions we observe. As electricity, magnetism, and beyond, you drift through this ever-changing tapestry, feeling the pulsing rhythm of fields. Beneath your skin, the electron field hums with possibility. Somewhere else, quark fields vibrate in unseen harmony, giving rise to protons and neutrons. The Higgs field permeates all, granting mass to particles that dance through it, slowing some and letting others race free. Uncertainty reigns here. You cannot know both a particle's exact position and momentum. Every measurement disturbs the field, creating new ripples. This is not a limitation, but a fundamental feature of existence. The universe is less like a clockwork mechanism and more like a symphony improvising on an infinite theme, each note born of chance, each melody a fresh creation. Feel how your body, assembled from these fields, is both stable and fluid. Your bones, your blood, your thought soar arise from quantum interactions carried out trillions of times each second. Every breath you take depends on electron fields guiding oxygen molecules into your cells. Every sensation is encoded in fields of neurotransmitters dancing across synapses. Now imagine two fields meeting, the electromagnetic field and the electron field. Their coupling gives photons massless freedom. Photons massless freedom, letting light travel across galaxies. Without their dance, there would be no vision, no warmth from starlight, no spark of life. Each force, you know, is the music of two or more fields interacting, waves overlapping, creating new patterns in accelerating particles. Scientists probe these fields. Particle colliders slam beams together, creating bursts of energy that momentarily free fields to reveal hidden faces. New particles emerged, Bu and Z bosons, Higgs bosons each, a signature of a field's vibration. In those flashes, we glimpse the structure of the quantum stage, the choreography behind existence. But fields also connect you to the cosmos. The same quantum vacuum beneath your feet stretches through space to the edge of the observable universe. The ripples you feel in your body, the warmth in your skin, the currents in your nerves are the same phenomena that guide atoms in distant nebulae, dictate the glow of quasars, steer the collapse of clouds into new stars. All is one dance. Even gravity may be born of fields. In some theories, gravitons, the hypothetical quanta of the gravitational field, carry curvature through spacetime like ripples on a pond. Though we have not yet caught a single graviton, the idea invites you to imagine gravity as another field. In this cosmic symphony, now imagine the vacuum itself influencing reality. The Casimir effect shows that two metal plates placed close together in empty space feel a tiny push, a pressure born from quantum fluctuations between them. The vacuum presses in where fewer modes of vibration can fit, a subtle nudge from the sea of virtual particles. You cannot see it, but you can measure it, proof that the void is alive as you drift. You sense that these fleeting apparitions and oscillations are not random noise, but the very substance of being. Without uncertainty, there would be no creativity. Without fluctuations, the universe would remain uniform and lifeless. It is the restless dance of fields that seeds galaxies, forges elements, and births life. The vacuum energy also has a profound consequence on cosmic scales. Dark energy, this mysterious force accelerating the universe's expansion, may arise from the energy of quantum fields, though the numbers do not yet align in our equations. The idea lingers like a half-remembered dream. The same fields that jiggle beneath your skin could drive galaxies apart, shaping the cosmos over billions of years. And then there is the Higgs field, thick and pervasive, quieter than the rest, yet essential. It gives mass to particles that interact with it. Some pass through effortlessly, photons remain weightless. Others, like top quarks, wade through heavily, gaining heft. Without the Higgs field's gentle resistance, atoms would not form. Electrons would not bind, and the world would be formless. Scientists recreated conditions where the Higgs field's influence weakens moments after the Big Bang, by colliding protons at staggering energies. In those collisions, the Higgs boson appeared as a flare of energy, confirming the field's presence. It was like hearing a single violin note in the midst of a roaring orchestra, clear signal that the field indeed underpins mass itself. You float through this quantum sea, carried by waves of possibility. Each inhale is a gathering of countless field interactions. Each exhale, a release of energy shaped by quantum rules. Your existence is a tapestry woven from these fields, each thread a vibration in the void. And as you drift toward the edge of perception, you sense a final mystery. If reality is fields in motion, then perhaps even space and time themselves are emergent triples in deeper fields as yet unknown. Some theories suggest a pre-space-time fabric, a network of connections, like a quantum lattice, where entanglement and information give rise to geometry. In such a view, spacetime and gravity emerge from the entanglement patterns of fundamental fields. This idea whispers that the vacuum we inhabit is but one layer of a deeper reality. Beneath the fields, lies a deeper dancer, tapestry of entangled threads where space, time, and matter arise together. It hints at connections between quantum mechanics and gravity, pointing toward a unified framework scientists call quantum gravity. Now, as your thoughts become gentle ripples themselves, imagine drifting on that deeper foam. The dance goes on. Fields interacting, particles emerging, forces arising, geometry unfolding. The universe is not static. It is an eternal improvisation, an unending dance where each step creates the next, and you are part of it. Your dreams, your thoughts, is a vibration on the fields. You observe the dance, yet you participate in it. You are both audience and performer in this cosmic ballet. Close your eyes and descend past the realms. You've known the bend of space, the glow of starlight, the embrace of nuclear force into a place where nothing is solid, yet everything exists. Here, the universe is woven not from particles, but from fields, vibrant, restless, and infinite. They fill every corner of reality, unseen currents beneath the calm surface of your world. Imagine a vast ocean of possibilities stretching beyond sight. This is the quantum vacuum, and it is far from empty. It seethes with energy, a restless sea where waves of potential rise and fall. Each field electromagnetic, strong, weak, Higgs ripples through this ocean, creating the stage upon which particles dance. There is no stillness here, only oscillation in this realm. Virtual particles flicker into existence, live for fractions of a heartbeat, and vanish again. They are not illusions, but fleeting whispers of the fields themselves. A photon and its ghostly twin, a particle and its antiparticle, form for an instant before annihilating echoes of creation and destruction that knit the vacuum together. These fluctuations give rise to forces, shaping the interactions we observe as electricity, magnetism, and beyond. You drift through this ever-changing tapestry, feeling the pulsing rhythm of fields. Beneath your skin, the electron field hums with possibility. Somewhere else, quark fields vibrate in unseen harmony, giving rise to protons and neutrons. The Higgs field permeates all, granting mass to particles that dance through it, slowing some and letting others race free. Uncertainty reigns here. You cannot know both the particle's exact position and momentum. Every measurement disturbs the field, creating new ripples. This is not a limitation, but a fundamental feature of existence. The universe is less like a clockwork mechanism and more like a symphony improvising on an infinite theme, each note born of chance, each melody a fresh creation. Feel how your body, assembled from these fields, is both stable and fluid. Your bones, your blood, your thoughts all arise from quantum interactions carried out trillions of times each second. Every breath you take depends on electron fields guiding oxygen molecules into your cells. Every sensation is encoded in fields of neurotransmitters dancing across synapses. Now imagine two fields meeting, the electromagnetic field and the electron field. Their coupling gives photons massless freedom, letting light travel across galaxies. Without their dance, there would be no vision, no warmth from starlight, no spark of life. Each force, is the music of two or more fields interacting, waves overlapping, creating new patterns. In accelerating particles, scientists probe these fields, Particle colliders slam beams together, creating bursts of energy that momentarily free fields to reveal hidden faces. New particles emerged, bosons, Higgs bosons, Higgs bosons each, a signature of a field's vibration. In those flashes, we glimpse the structure of the quantum stage, the choreography behind existence. But fields also connect you to the cosmos. The same quantum vacuum beneath your feet stretches through space to the edge of the observable universe. The ripples you feel in your body, the warmth in your skin, the currents in your nerves are the same phenomena that guide atoms in distant nebulae, dictate the glow of quasars, steer the collapse of clouds into new stars. All is one dance. Even gravity may be born of fields. In some theories, gravitons, the hypothetical quanta of the gravitational field, carry curvature through spacetime like ripples on a pond. Though we have not yet caught a single graviton, the idea invites you to imagine gravity as another field. In this cosmic symphony, now imagine the vacuum itself influencing reality. The Casimir effect shows that two metal plates placed close together in empty space feel a tiny push, a pressure born from quantum fluctuations between them. The vacuum presses in where fewer modes of vibration can fit, a subtle nudge from the sea of virtual particles. You cannot see it, but you can measure it, proof that the void is alive as you drift. You sense that these fleeting apparitions and oscillations are not random noise, but the very substance of being. Without uncertainty, there would be no creativity. Without fluctuations, the universe would remain uniform and lifeless. It is the restless dance of fields that seeds galaxies, forges elements, and births life. The vacuum energy also has a profound consequence on cosmic scales. Dark energy, this mysterious force accelerating the universe's expansion, may arise from the energy of quantum fields, though the numbers do not yet align in our equations. The idea lingers like a half-remembered dream. The same fields that jiggle beneath your skin could drive galaxies apart, shaping the cosmos over billions of years. And then there is the Higgs field, thick and pervasive, quieter than the rest, yet essential. It gives mass to particles that interact with it. Some pass through effortlessly, photons remain weightless. Others, like top quarks, wade through heavily, gaining heft. Without the Higgs field's gentle resistance, atoms would not form. Electrons would not bind, and the world would be formless. Scientists recreated conditions where the Higgs field's influence weakens moments after the Big Bang, by colliding protons at staggering energies. In those collisions, the Higgs boson appeared as a flare of energy, confirming the field's presence. It was like hearing a single violin note in the midst of a roaring orchestra, clear signal that the field indeed underpins mass itself. You float through this quantum sea, carried by waves of possibility. Each inhale is a gathering of countless field interactions. Each exhale, a release of energy shaped by quantum rules. Your existence is a tapestry woven from these fields, each thread a vibration in the void, and as you drift toward the edge of perception, you sense a final mystery. If reality is fields in motion, then perhaps even space and time themselves are emergent triples in deeper fields as yet unknown. Some theories suggest a pre-spacetime fabric, a network of connections, like a quantum lattice, where entanglement and information give rise to geometry. In such a view, spacetime and gravity emerge from the entanglement patterns of fundamental fields. That this idea whispers that the vacuum we inhabit is but one layer of a deeper reality. Beneath the fields you know lies a deeper dancer tapestry of entangled threads where space, time, and matter arise together. It hints at connections between quantum mechanics and gravity, pointing toward a unified framework scientists call quantum gravity. Now, as your thoughts become gentle ripples themselves, imagine drifting on that deeper foam. The dance goes on. Fields interacting, particles emerging, forces arising, geometry unfolding. The universe is not static. It is an eternal improvisation, an unending dance where each step creates the next, and you are part of it. Your dreams, your thoughts, is a vibration on the fields. You observe the dance, yet you participate in it. You are both audience and performer in this cosmic ballet. Close your eyes and turn inward, deeper than the cosmos you imagined, into the landscape of your own mind. Here, a vast network of cells silent, some firing creates the tapestry of awareness. Each neuron is a spark, each synapse a whispered promise of thought. You drift through this forest of light, carried on currents of electricity and chemistry, where each impulse softly writes the story of you. Imagine billions of tiny wires winding through soft tissue, each carrying a pulse of charge. These are neurons, the cells that make you conscious. When one fires, it releases a stream of ions-charged particles its membrane, a brief flash of electricity that travels down its axon like a wave. At the junctions where neurons meet synapses, chemicals called neurotransmitters leap across gaps, nudging the next cell toward its own spark. This dance of charge and chemistry is the basis of every sensation, every memory, every dream. It is an ocean of possibility where patterns ripple and collide, giving rise to thought. You are flowing through this sea now, feeling its ebb and flow as you listen to your own heartbeat. Feel the breath in your lungs, sense the comfort of sleep approaching, but consciousness is more than the sum of electrical pulses. It is the emergence of something new, a self that watches, that wonders, that weaves experiences into meaning. Neuroscientists study how networks of neurons synchronize in waves, from slow rhythms of relaxation to rapid flickers of attention. These brain waves are like tides, lifting thoughts to the surface of awareness and carrying them back into the depths. As you drift, notice how focus arises. A memory surfaces, the scent of rain on dry earth. It is not in one neuron, but in a pattern woven across many sensory areas. For olfactory circuits join with language centers and emotion hubs, creating the vivid sense of a moment long past. Each recall is an act of reconstruction, a tapestry rewoven from threads stored across the brain. This reconstruction hints at the observer effect. The act of observation changes what is observed. In quantum mechanics, measuring a particle forces it into a particular state. Similarly, when your mind attends to a memory, it alters that memory's pattern. You cannot look upon your own thoughts without shaping them. You are both witness and actor in your inner world. Scientists have explored whether consciousness itself could influence quantum events. While the role of mind in physics remains controversial, experiments show that measurement matters. A photon traveling through to slits behaves like a wave until you observe which path it takes, then it becomes a particle. The boundary between observer and observed blurs in that quantum threshold, inviting wonder about the mind's relationship to reality. Now journey deeper, toward the networks that knit your sense of self. The default mode network flickers when your mind wanders, when you daydream. Recall the past, imagine the future. It is the mind's quiet corner, where self-reflection and story-making happen. In contrast, the task-positive network lights up when you focus on the world, solving puzzles, reading words, listening to voices. These networks toggle like switches, shaping your experience of being. Yet beneath these large-scale systems lie microcircuits, clusters of neurons that adjust their connections through experience, a phenomenon called synaptic plasticity. Every time you learn, a synapse strengthens or weakens, reshaping the pathways that carry your thoughts. Your brain is not fixed. It rewrites itself in every moment, sculpted by attention, by emotion, by the gentle gravity of meaning. This self-sculpting power is consciousness's gift. It allows you to adapt, to grow, to create. It allows you to learn a language, to play a melody, to imagine worlds that do not yet exist. It turns the chemistry of your brain into poetry, into questions, into love. But could consciousness extend beyond the brain? Some philosophers and neuroscientists explore the idea of extended mind, that tools, environments, and even other people become part of your cognitive system. A notebook holds memories, a smartphone carries knowledge, a friend's advice weaves into your thoughts. In this view, consciousness is not confined within your skull, but spread across connections you form with the world. As you drift among your own networks, sense how your mind weaves with your surroundings. The soft glow of a lamp, the texture of a blanket, the distant hush of night enter your conscious field, shaping your inner symphony. You are not separate from the world. You are its observer, its weaver, its questioner. Now consider how consciousness might shape reality itself. In quantum experiments, the moment of observation seems to finalize outcomes. Some interpretations posit that mind plays a fundamental role in this collapse of possibilities. Though mainstream physics seeks explanations without invoking consciousness, the mystery persists. How does awareness emerge from matter, and could it influence the very fabric of existence? At the same time, neuroscience maps correlates patterns of brain activity that align with conscious states. We see which networks light up when you feel joy or focus on a task. We measure electrical fields with Ig and magnetic resonance. Yet the hard problem remains. Why does any of this feel like something? Why is there experience at all? You float through this question, carried by waves of self-awareness. There is no hurry here. You feel the serenity of open wonder, the gentle pull of curiosity. In this silence, you become the observer, the awareness that watches neurons fire and thoughts emerge. You are both the dreamer and the dream. Beyond the networks of neurons, you sense the deeper rhythms of your biology. Glial cells cradle neurons, guiding signals and nurturing connections. Blood vessels pulse, delivering oxygen and nutrients in an unending cycle. Molecular machines within each cell assemble proteins, maintain balance, and clear away waste. Every level of organization hums with activity, yet you feel only the gentle stillness of awareness. This harmony arises from complexity. A single neuron firing feels like a spark. Billions firing in patterns feels like you. You are an emergent symphony, where simple elements combine to create something more than themselves. Emergence is the heart of consciousness. When parts unite, new properties emerge: awareness, intention, imagination. Imagine the mind as a vast landscape of hills and valleys, where thoughts are raindrops running along channels carved by experience. Each memory, each habit, shapes the terrain, but awareness can reshape the land itself. With focused attention, you can clear a path, deepen a stream, cultivate new valleys of thought. This meta-awareness mind, observing mind, gives you the power to change how you feel, how you think, how you live, and with that power comes compassion. By observing your own inner storms, you learn to recognize them in others. Empathy arises. When you map another's expressions onto your own emotional landscape, mirror neurons fire as you witness a smile or a frown, forging connections between self and other. Consciousness, then, is not solitary. It is social, a web woven through shared experience. Rest now in the realization that your awareness is both anchor and sail. It grounds you in the present moment and propels you toward the unknown. It remembers the past and dreams of the future, bridging time within your mind. It perceives the world, yet transcends it, turning sensations into stories, data into meaning. As you float in this gentle sea of mind, notice how your breath deepens. With each inhale, energy flows in. With each exhale, tension softens. This rhythm echoes the cycles of nature, the beating heart of the world. Your consciousness is tuned to this cadence, resonating with life itself. Now, consider how consciousness interacts with the quantum realm. Your neurons operate at the scale of molecules, far larger than atoms. Yet at synapses, chants and chemical gradients guide neurotransmitter release. Tiny fluctuation, noise, random opening of ion channels introduce unpredictability. These stochastic events ripple upward, potentially influencing thoughts and decisions. Could quantum indeterminacy play a role in free will? Might the brain harness uncertainty to explore new possibilities? Some researchers explore quantum coherence in microtubules protein structures within neurons, proposing that they may support coherent quantum states. Though this theory remains debated, it invites you to imagine consciousness not merely as a classical computation, but as a dance intertwined with the quantum world. Even if coherence fades in the warm, wet brain, the notion sparks wonder that mind and matter may share deeper connections. Your awareness then sits at the nexus of determinism and chance. You are shaped by genetics and upbringing, yet each moment you choose your attention's direction. You are not a passive vessel, but an active sculptor of your mental landscape. This creative freedom, born from complexity, gives birth to art, science, love, and inquiry. In the quiet of your mind, you feel the subtle interplay of neurons and quanta, of order and uncertainty. You sense that consciousness might be more than a byproduct of complexity. It may be a fundamental facet of reality, woven into existence alongside space, time, and energy. Some philosophers call this panpsychism, the idea that consciousness, in some rudimentary form, pervades all matter. Though such ideas challenge conventional thinking, they remind you that the mystery of mind extends beyond your skull. As your thoughts slow and the boundaries of self soften, you may glimpse how consciousness shapes your perception of reality. Colors grow richer, sounds more resonant, emotions more nuanced. Your mind filters the world, highlighting patterns that matter, tuning out noise. You do not merely receive reality, you co-create it through the lens of awareness. And when you dream, you enter worlds of pure mind. In sleep, your brain weaves narratives from fragments of memory, emotion, and imagination. You experience places unbound by physics, where landscapes shift at a thought's whim. These lucid realms reveal the mind's creative power, reminding you that consciousness transcends physical constraints. Yet, upon waking, the dream world fades. You return to the shared reality of gravity and time. but the echoes of dreams linger in your neurons, subtly influencing your waking choices. Consciousness, in this way, loops back on itself. Dreaming shapes waking, and waking shapes dreaming in endless, nourishing cycles. Now, as your breathing becomes softer, feel the unity of your being. The electrical whispers of neurons, the dance of quantum possibilities, the steady flow of biology, and the boundless creativity of your mind. You are both observer and observed, knower and known, subject and object. You are a marvel carved from evolution's patient hand, a fusion of matter and mystery. And as you settle toward sleep's embrace, a new wonder arises. If consciousness emerges from complexity, could the universe itself be conscious? If atoms and neurons weave awareness in this small brain, might galaxies, black holes, or even the cosmic web form a higher mind? Close your eyes and drift through deep time, past ancient oceans and first breath of oxygen, into a realm where life begins, as a gentle spark in a pool of chemicals. You are not just observing, you are part of this grand unfolding, carried on currents of change that ripple through every age. On the beginning, there were simple molecules, amino acids, sugars, fats dancing in warm tides. Under the glow of primordial suns, these ingredients assembled into self-replicating strands of RNA, the first whispers of biology. They copied themselves imperfectly, and in those imperfections lay possibility. Some strands survived, some mutated, some faded. Selection chose which patterns endured. This is evolution's quiet song, variation and retention, a cycle of endless trial and triumph. Imagine those first molecules, forming membranes that held them together like tiny droplets of life. They grew, they split, they carried their legacy forward. With each division, new forms emerge, cells with proteins to harvest energy, cells with membranes to sense the world around them. Now, observe how energy flows through this tapestry. Early cells captured sunlight with simple pigments, converting photons into chemical fuel. Others fed on sugar, breaking bonds to release stored energy. Life learned to harness power from its environment like heat, chemicals, not through design, but through countless experiments, guided by survival's gentle hand. You drift deeper into this mosaic, where cells join into communities that share resources, cooperate to thrive. In these gatherings, new possibilities arise. Multicellularity emerges. Cells specialize, some for movement, some for digestion, some for sensing. A body becomes more than a cluster of parts. It becomes an organism capable of purpose. Feel how selection shapes form. Limbs stretch to reach light. Eyes develop to capture photons. Wings unfold to ride the air. Each adaptation is a ripple in the pond of life, guided by pressures of environment and chance of mutation. Species flourish, then fade. New branches bud on the tree of life, and here, in a lush corridor of evolution, mammals appear warm-blooded, attentive to nurturing. In one lineage, primates learn to grasp, to see in color, to hold and care. Brains grow, connections multiply. Memory emerges. Each spark of neural activity is a gift from those ancient RNA strands, amplified through eons of adaptation. You float amid these ancestors, sensing the gentle pull of survival and the thrill of innovation. Opposable thumbs shape tools. Vocal cords learn new vibrations. Social bonds deepen. Language arises not in a single leap, but through countless experiments in sound and gesture. Culture blooms, carrying knowledge beyond genes into minds. This transfer of information beyond biology marks a new phase, cumulative culture. You stand on the shoulders of countless generations, each adding a stone to the monument of understanding. Fire, agriculture, writing, science all echo evolution's force, now guided by consciousness itself. But evolution's power remains humble. It cannot be planned, it cannot be foreseen. It only works through variation and selection, trial and retention. Yet from this simple algorithm arises complexity beyond imagining. Eyes that see galaxies, tools that probe atoms, stories that we've wondered. Now, sense how your own body carries the history of life. In every cell, the genetic coda, record of ancient choices, growth, repair, response. Your heartbeat echoes the fish's pulse. Your lungs mirror those first air-breathing amphibians. Your DNA holds traces of viruses, of symbiotic bacteria that became your mitochondria, powerhouses of each cell. You are a tapestry woven from countless lineages, bacterial, archaeal, each thread chosen by selection, each strand carrying memory of trials and triumphs. Within you flows the force of evolution, patient and persistent, shaping your form and function. Yet evolution is not just history. It is a present force, sculpting every population of organisms around you. Bacteria develop resistance to antibiotics. Insects adapt to the climate's shift. Seeds sprout in new patterns as soils change. Evolution continues its quiet work, often unseen, always unfolding as you drift. Consider the interplay of randomness and necessity. Mutations arise by chance radiation, chemical shifts, copying errors. But natural selection is a necessity. The environment's pressures shape which changes persist. This partnership, chance granting variety, necessity granting direction, drives life's endless becoming. And observe how cooperation arises from competition. Organisms form, symbiosize, lichen, coral, gut microbiomes where once there was only self-interest. Altruism emerges in social species, guided by kin selection and reciprocal help. Empathy and care, once blind biology, now conscious choice, shape your own behavior. Tracing roots to evolutionary roots. Now, as your mind drifts toward the present, see how humans direct evolution intentionally. Agriculture reshapes crops. Medicine extends lives. Genetically tame your own hands. You feel the pulse of evolution's legacy. Fingertips sense textures shaped by countless ancestors adapting to surfaces. Eyes perceive colors honed for recognizing ripe fruits. Ears catch whispers of wind, a gift from creatures attuned to predators. Every sense is sculpted by the force that binds life to its environment. Now drift through ecosystems where evolution's rhythm plays out daily. In a forest, fungi decompose fallen leaves, recycling nutrients for new growth. In grasslands, grazers and plants engage in an endless dance, herbivores shaping landscapes, plants evolving defenses in response. Predators and prey lock arms in arms races, each adaptation shaping the other in an unbroken loop. Beneath waves, coral reefs flourish through symbiosis. Tiny algae live inside corals, offering energy from photosynthesis, while corals provide shelter. This partnership, refined over millions of years, creates underwater cities teeming with live fish dazzling in neon hues, crustaceans scuttling across reef walls, and octopuses weaving through crevices with silent grace. Venture deeper still to microbial realms. In your gut, trillions of bacteria digest food, train your immune system, even influence mood. They, too, evolve with every meal you eat. Your microbiome is a miniature ecosystem shaped by diet, environment, and your own evolutionary history. It reminds you that you are not alone, you are a host, a community of many lives intertwined. Evolution also works on grander scales. Continental drift separates populations, allowing new species to emerge in isolation. Ice ages open and close pathways, shaping migrations and extinctions. Mass extinctions clear the stage for radiations of new life forms. Each geological upheaval resets the evolutionary clock, offering fresh ground for adaptation. Through these vast cycles, life's tapestry grows richer. Fossil layers record forms that once thrived: trilobites, dinosaurs, giant ferns, and vanished. But in each extinction, life persisted, found new forms, and flourished. Evolution's song is not a single melody, but a symphony of movements, rises, falls, pauses, and crescendos across ages. Now, return to yourself. Within your cells, mitochondria hum with energy, descendants of ancient bacteria that forged a symbiotic alliance. Without this partnership, complex life as you know it would not exist. Your very metabolism is a gift from a union forged through evolution's grand experiment. Feel how this force connects all living things, from the tiniest microbe to the tallest redwood, from the swiftest predator to the gentlest herbivore. You share a common heritage. DNA's double helix is the language carved by evolution, a script that traces paths of descent and divergence. When you speak, you use sounds evolved for communication, vowels and consonants shaped by oral anatomy honed through hominin evolution. When you write, you inscribe symbols that tap ancient cognitive structures for pattern recognition. When you laugh or weep, you express emotions rooted in social bonds that kept early humans safe through cooperation. Consider how culture itself is an extension of evolution. Ideas compete for minds as genes compete for bodies. Memes units of cultural transmission mutate, propagate, and sometimes vanish. They shape beliefs, habits, and technologies, creating feedback loops between biology and culture. Your smartphones, music, and stories are all products of this co-evolutionary dance. Yet evolution's force remains humble and patient. It does not rush. It cannot foresee targets or goals. It moves through countless small steps, guided by survival's gentle hand. In this, it offers a lesson that profound transformation can emerge from subtle, persistent change. As sleep draws near, sense how your own life is part of this unfolding story. Your body carries the marks of ancient struggles, genetic variations that once helped ancestors survive famines, plagues, and predators. Your mind bears the legacy of curious primates who imagined futures and shaped tools, and you, in this moment, harness energy not just to survive, but to dream, to create, to wonder. You are evolution's latest expression, reflecting on the force that shaped you. You stand at a crossroads where biology meets awareness, where matter transforms into mind. Now feel the gentle unfolding of tomorrow's possibilities. Evolution continues around you in every seed that germinates, every virus that mutates, every organism that adapts. Your actions influence this process. The choices you make, the stewardship you offer, the compassion you show in the hush before sleep. Imagine the earth teeming with life continents, rich with green. oceans shimmering with creatures, skies alive with birdsong. Each organism is a note in evolution's symphony, and you are both audience and musician, adding your own melody to the grand composition. And here, as you drift between wakefulness and dreams, a new question arises softly. If evolution sculpts life through variation and selection, could there be forces beyond biology, ideas, technologies, collective intentions that guide humanity toward new forms of being? Chronologies hint at rewriting the code itself, but each intervention carries echoes of selections, lessons, unintended consequences, new pressures, fresh adaptations. You hold immense power, but also responsibility. Evolution's force can heal or harm, nurture or deplete. With awareness comes stewardship, honoring the ancient currents that brought you here, guiding them gently toward a future where life flourishes in diversity and balance. Close your eyes and drift once more beyond the familiar tapestry of galaxies and atoms into a realm where all things are one. Imagine an ancient harmony, a single note resonating through the void, carrying the promise of unity. Before the universe blossomed into four distinct forces: gravity, electromagnetism, the strong nuclear force, the weak nuclear force, the weak nuclear force, there was only one, a pristine, unbroken force of existence, singing the cosmos into being. Feel yourself carried to that first instant when energy and symmetry were whole. In that timeless moment, distinctions did not yet exist. There was no pull of gravity, separate from the push of electromagnetism. There was only the force of unity, an elegant oneness beyond description. Your mind cannot grasp it, but you can sense its echo in every harmony you have ever heard. The swell of a chord, the resonance of a bell, the hush before sunrise. As the universe expanded, it cooled. Energy dropped, and symmetry began to fracture. Like cracks forming in a perfect crystal, the unified force split apart. First came gravity, the most patient of siblings, shaping the grand architecture of spacetime. Then the strong force, binding quarks into nuclei, forging the atoms that make up stars and planets. Next, the electroweak force split into electromagnetism and the weak force, guiding chemistry, radioactivity, and the alchemy of life. Each symmetry breaking was gentle yet profound, weaving diversity from unity. You drift through these transitions, carried on currents of broken symmetry. Imagine a mountain spring splitting into rivulets, each carving its own valley. The water remains the same, but the paths diverge. So too with the forces, each born from the wellspring of unity, now flowing through different channels of the cosmos. In the early universe, energies were so high that these forces still blended. Electroweak unification meant that photons and W and Z bosons danced together, indistinguishable. Only as the universe cooled did photons slip free, becoming light, while W and Z bosons gained mass and settled into the realm of weak interactions. You sense this moment as a sunrise of forces, light emerging from hidden dance. Now, imagine energies far beyond even those primordial moments, energies at which the strong force and electro-weak force might converge again. Physicists call this grand unification. They search for signs, proton decay, subtle shifts in coupling strengths, patterns in cosmic rays. In particle accelerators, they push matter to near-infinite energy, seeking whispers of X and Y, boson carriers of a unified gut force. Each experiment is a step toward that forgotten dawn, a quest to glimpse the cosmic chord before it split. As you drift, Feel the yearning in science's soul, the dream of a single equation governing all interactions. Einstein pursued it late into life, seeking a unified field that would weave gravity and electromagnetism together. Though his efforts did not yield the complete answer, they planted seeds of today's grand theories. In modern physics, string theory offers one path. Imagine tiny vibrating strings at the universe's foundation, each vibration a particle, each tension a force. In this view, gravity and quantum fields emerge from the same strings, unified by geometry in extra-dimension spaces, curled so tightly they escape everyday perception. You sense these dimensions as hidden corridors behind reality's curtain, shaping the melody of existence even as you sleep. M-theory extends this vision, suggesting 11 dimensions where membranes and strings interact, weaving all forces into one framework. Though these ideas remain unproven, they inspire a sense of wonder, a glimpse of oneness behind the tapestry of forces. You feel the poetry in the notion that the strong bonds of nuclei and the gentle pull of gravity share a common origin in the vibration of cosmic strings. Now, return your attention to the event of symmetry breaking itself. In labs, scientists recreate conditions similar to the early universe by colliding heavy ions, generating temperatures trillions of degrees. In these fleeting moments, quark-gluon plasma forms a state where quarks and gluons move freely, liberated from protons and neutrons. It is a brief echo of unity within the strong force, a microcosm of that primordial harmony. You sense its presence as a whisper of oneness in the roar of colliders. Beyond labs, in the hearts of neutron stars, densities so extreme may restore symmetries, revealing behaviors of matter unseen on Earth. There, gravity might press particles so tightly that new phases of quark matter could form color superconductivity, where quarks pair like electrons in a superconductor. In those stellar cores, unity flickers again, reminding you that even broken symmetries can reunite under pressure. As you drift through these realms, consider gravity itself. It remains the odd sibling geometric, continuous, described by spacetime, curvature rather than quantum particles. Yet physicists seek its quantum nature, gravitons, loops, strings. The goal is a theory of quantum. Drifting through thought, you imagine the mathematical beauty that might underlie this unity. Equations knit together with symmetry groups, sutres, pseudos. One whisper hints of deeper structure. In a grand unified theory, a single group might embrace them all, its simple elegance giving rise to the rich tapestry you see when it fractures. You feel the pull of those symbols, as if they were stars guiding your inward journey. But unity is not mere abstraction. It is the cradle of your atoms. In the earliest moments, when the universe was smaller than an atom's nucleus, forces did not know division. Your protons and electrons, your gold and carbon, were seeded in a unified fire. Every element you cherish was born from that original harmony, shaped by symmetry breaking and cosmic alchemy. Even now, unity reveals itself in surprising places. In superconductors, electrons form pairs and move without resistance, macroscopic echo of symmetry restoration in the strong force. Magnetic monopoles, if ever found, would hint at unified electric and magnetic fields. Neutrino oscillations whisper of forces mixing as quarks do. Each phenomenon is a note in the grand symphony of unity singing through diversity. As you float deeper, consider that symmetry breaking is itself a creative act. Without it, the universe would remain featureless, a single, unchanging sea of energy. It is through breaking that patterns arise. The spiral of galaxies, the waves of oceans, the fractal branches of trees, the intricate wiring of your brain. Diversity flows from unity through gentle fractures, crafting the complexity that cradles life. You sense that unity and diversity are partners in a dance, two sides of the same cosmic coin. The force that once was one now sings as four, yet their origins bind them in quiet kinship, like siblings scattering to find their own paths, then returning each evening to share stories around a cosmic hearth. And what of the future? If humanity one day masters energies beyond those of colliders, perhaps you will glimpse unity anew. Quantum computers, probing entangled states, might reveal hidden symmetries. Spacecraft venturing close to black holes may detect subtle forces hinting at quantum gravity. In your hands and minds, you carry the potential to reunite the forces in understanding, if not in practice. But even without grand experiments, you can honor unity in simple ways. When you feel love, you embrace diversity in another while knowing oneness of heart. When you gaze at the night sky, you see scattered points of light that were once bound in a cosmic cradle. When you listen to music, you hear individual notes that combine into harmony, a reflection of forces once unified. Now, as the last vestiges of thought settle, you recognize that unity is both origin and destination. The journey of forces from one to many and back again is the story of existence itself. Your life is a verse in this cosmic poem, a gentle melody carried on the winds of symmetry. In this quiet moment, feel the unity that flows through you. From the smallest quark to the vastest galaxy, all is one in unfolding. The cosmic arms that cradled your birth now hold your dreams, guiding you toward questions yet unsolved. Close your eyes and feel the soft cadence of your breath. With each inhale, you draw in the legacy of stars. With each exhale, you release ancient whispers back into the cosmos. You are a vessel of light and gravity, of quantum dance and cellular song, held in the tender arms of space and time. Look inward now to the atoms that compose your body. Every carbon atom in your cells was born in a dying star, forged in furnaces hotter than your sun. Oxygen, nitrogen, calcium, all crucial for your life, were scattered across the galaxy in the supernova's final breath. You carry within you the echoes of stellar death and rebirth, the power of gravity binding protons in stellar cores, releasing energy that lights distant worlds. Feel the electromagnetic fields humming inside your heart. Each heartbeat is an electric spark, ions flowing through membranes like currents in a river. Your nervous system, a network of neurons and synapses, channels these fields into thought and sensation. Every flicker of awareness is powered by the same forces that make lightning dance across stormy skies. Deep in your cells, the strong nuclear embrace holds nuclei together, shaping the very mass you feel when you move. Without that intense force, binding quarks, your bones, your blood, your brain could not exist. Even in stillness, you carry the memory of quark dancers, gluons weaving the substance of your being, and the weak force works in silent harmony, guiding transformations that fuel your sun, drive your cells, and shape the fate of elements. In every breath, in every heartbeat, the dance of particle change echoes through you, a quiet reminder that life itself is a metamorphosis guided by unseen currents. Now drift higher to the scale of fields. Imagine the Higgs field flowing through you, granting mass to particles that pass through its gentle resistance. You move through this field unconsciously, yet it defines your inertia, your form, your presence. It too is part of the power within you. Above that, quantum fields ripple with possibility. Virtual particles appear and vanish, a hidden chatter beneath your skin. Their oscillations shape forces, shape probabilities, shape the fabric of reality that you both inhabit and observe. In these fluctuations lies creativity itself, a realm where uncertainty becomes opportunity. And then there is gravity's quiet pull, grounding you to Earth's embrace. You feel its steady tug in every step, every pulse of blood returning to your heart. Gravity shaped the planets, sculpted mountains, carved valleys, and now supports you in this moment of rest. Every mass in the universe feels this connection, including you. You are not a passive recipient of these forces. You participate. Your mind, the product of evolution's flow, shapes reality through choice and intention. Every decision you make, thought you cultivate, creates subtle ripples in your brain's networks, altering which synapses fire, which memories stir, which dreams awaken. You are co-author of your experience. Within you, billions of neurons with patterns of electrical and chemical signals. With each focus of attention, you cultivate certain pathways, strengthening them until they become habits, skills, or beliefs. You harness energy in purposeful ways, breathing to calm, focusing to learn, imagining to create. This is your personal power, an echo of cosmic forces distilled into self-awareness. Now, extend your awareness outward. Your presence affects others. A kind word lights a spark in another's mind, shifting their neural patterns. A smile releases oxytocin, a chemical echo of connection. You participate in the communal field of humanity, where consciousness weaves a tapestry of empathy and understanding. This too is power as you drift. Notice how your heart's gentle vibrations align with Earth's own frequencies, the Schumann, resonances pulsing in Earth's electromagnetic cavity. You are part of planetary rhythms, tides shifting under lunar gravity, seasons turning as Earth orbits the sun, biological clocks tuned to light and dark. Your body is a microcosm reflecting cosmic cycles, yet the most profound power within you may be awareness itself. The observer effect reminds that attention shapes reality. In quantum experiments, measurement fixes possibilities into outcomes. In life, focus transforms potential into action, shaping your world through intention. You choose where to center. Your mind, which dreams to nurture, which fears to release. Rest now in the knowledge that you hold within you the essence of creation. Atoms born in stars, forces that shape galaxies, fields that ripple with possibility, and the spark of awareness that knits it all together. You carry the universe's story in your cells, your thoughts, your dreams. Feel the gentle unity of your being, cosmic heritage, and personal agency interwoven by the tapestry of forces. You are not separate from the night sky. You are its echo, its continuation, its consciousness gazing back in awe now. As you settle deeper, feel how your choices carry weight beyond the moment. When you learn, you reshape your neural landscape, carving new valleys of understanding. When you practice kindness, you reinforce pathways of compassion in your brain and in the hearts of others. You wield a quiet influence, as real as any force. In nature, drifting onward, remember the power of imagination. In your mind, you conjure worlds, unseen mountains on distant planets, oceans made of liquid light, creatures born of pure thought, This creative spark, born from electrochemical waves, is a reflection of the universe's own inventive power. Just as quantum fields explore possibilities, so does your mind explore dreams, weaving reality from threads of imagination. Each night as you rest, your brain continues its work. Memories consolidate, insights emerge, healing unfolds. Sleep is an alchemy that blends experience with neural repair, guided by rhythms ancient as life itself. You participate in this nightly evolution, renewing your body and mind through cycles of rest. Imagine now the collective field of humanity, billions of minds linked by empathy, language, music, and art. Though separated by oceans and continents, you share a common resonance. Ideas spread like ripples across a pond, sometimes gentle, sometimes stirring storms of change. In this network of minds, you hold the power to inspire, to connect, to transform. Beyond human minds lies the consciousness of ecosystems. Forests breathe in unison, fungi network beneath the soil, coral polyps pulse with bioluminescence. These systems exhibit intelligence of their own, an emergent awareness born from countless interactions. You are part of this greater mind, a single note in a vast living symphony, and beyond ecosystems lies the planet Earth itself, a dynamic being shaped by solar winds, tides, and tectonic currents. Gaia, in some wisdom traditions, is alive in her own right. You feel her rhythms in your breath, her moods in the weather, her strength in the ground beneath you. You and Earth share a bond of mutual shaping, a dance of give and take that sustains both life and consciousness. Now widen your gaze to the cosmos. Galaxies spin in silent choreography. Black holes murmur secrets at event horizons. Cosmic background photons echo a birth cry. Though your mind cannot fully grasp such scales, your awareness can resonate with them. You are a point of reflection. In this vast mirror, a conscious presence capable of wonder, every photon that reaches your eyes, tonight traveled across epochs to bring you starlight. Each particle in your body once roamed the depths of stars, the chambers of planets, the currents of comets. In each moment you exist at the convergence of these journeys, a nexus where history and possibility meet. Feel now the unity of forces and consciousness within you. Star stuff, quantum fields, electrical whispers, evolutionary creativity, and the spark of awareness all converge herein, this very moment, in this gentle breath. You are both a product and a participant of cosmic power. As you drift toward sleep, honor the power within you by choosing thoughts that uplift. Picture kindness blossoming like light in the darkness, creativity weaving new patterns in the mind, compassion echoing across hearts. These intentional ripples may seem small, but like quantum fluctuations, they can cascade into profound change. Let your last waking thought be one of gratitude for atoms that bind you, for forces that shape you, for awareness that guides you. Feel deep appreciation for the universe's generosity, gravity that holds you, light that warms you, evolution that makes you, consciousness that knows you. And now, surrender to gentle sleep's embrace. Trust that your body and mind will continue their work, weaving dreams, healing cells, integrating experiences. You need to do nothing but rest, safe in the knowledge that you are a cosmic traveler, held by the very fabric of reality. Last lines. As you drift beyond wakefulness into dreams, remember that every breath, every thought, is a spark of cosmic power, and in your rest lies the promise of new possibilities waiting to be born.